speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is one of India's most highly respected bankers who stepped down from her role as CEO and chairperson of RBS India in December 2013 to enter the public service. She joined the Aam Aadmi Party and is a member of the National Committee on Economic Policy. She is a member of Secretary Clinton's International Council on Women's Business Leadership. She chairs the Urban Development Committee of Indian Merchants Chamber and is leading a citizens movement for regeneration of Mumbai's portlands. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Meera Sanyal.
Dr. Wadia, Professor Sharma, Professor Hasina, Mr. Dandekar, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a great privilege to be here today, not in any other capacity, but because I am so closely associated with this wonderful college. It's been a great privilege to learn from the students, and particularly from those of our students who are engaged on this entrepreneurial journey. India really needs entrepreneurs. This is a very, very important time in the history of our country. You've heard from two very inspiring entrepreneurs their stories. But what I want to say to each of you who is sitting here and those who are in the classrooms and listening, your generation faces a very, very big challenge. As Mr. Dandekar pointed out, the new way of manufacturing is very automated or semi-automated. And yet, there are 33,000 young Indians entering the workforce every single day. That is about 10 lakh Indians every month, over 1 crore every year. Place this in context. India has only 1.25 crore taxpayers. So every year, young people like you, in the same number as our entire tax-paying base, are entering the workforce. And as Mr. Dandekar pointed out, those jobs are no longer available in manufacturing. So India finds itself at a cusp. At a time when we need to be breaking out, when we need to be moving our country into prosperity, we need to do what Japan did after the war, what America did after the Great Depression, that massive transformation, what China has done over the last 30 years. Each of these countries did that on the back of manufacturing, on the back of building an industrial base, on the back of exports. That option is really not available to India today because manufacturing industry has moved beyond manual assembly. You can no longer employ millions of people in factories, as Japan did, as America did, as China has done, as Southeast Asia has done. And so the question is, what are we going to do? And I think this is the reason why entrepreneurship is so important. Because what you want is gainful work. Isn't that so? As young people, you want to be gainfully engaged in something. But I think the language has moved from finding a job, from working for someone else, to working for yourself, to being a young entrepreneur. And in that, India offers a world of opportunities. We have the second largest population in the world, soon to be the largest, of young people, of bright people, of energetic, innovative young people. Each of them can be an entrepreneur, but remember that each of you is also a consumer. This is the largest and undoubtedly the fastest growing market in the world. It is a single market. It is one country. We don't have the problems of the European Union with different currencies. Of course, we have a completely different problem. We don't have any currency at the moment, but that aside, we have a common market. We have a common currency. We have one big country, which is one big opportunity. And that means 1.25 billion opportunities for each of you. I was never an entrepreneur, so the advice I can give you comes from my own experience, which was working as an intrapreneur. In our generation, we all looked forward to a good job, and I was fortunate to have a good career in banking. And I was even more fortunate to work with a bank, in fact, a bank which then got taken over, but with two sets of management, one with ABN AMRO and the other with the Royal Bank of Scotland, who encouraged people to innovate and be entrepreneurs within the company. So I had the chance, and I consider myself very fortunate, to have built the microfinance business in India, to have led the work of the foundation, which works in many disadvantaged areas of our country, across the country, to build the global back office, the BPO processing unit for ABN AMRO, then RBS, which, despite the fact that RBS has now shut its branches in India, continues to service the rest of the world, employing lots of people. And these were examples of entrepreneurship which we were allowed to do. We built the structured finance business, financing telecom and power. And through that, I have a few lessons which I would call, in simple words, my 10 mantras of entrepreneurship, which I'd like to share with you today. Much of this has really been illustrated by the previous speakers, and I think we're very fortunate to have had in our midst Anshu, Mr. Shah, Mr. Dandekar, because their real life experience really adds color to what we can learn from them. So the first thing I'd say is spot the opportunity. As Mr. Dandekar has said, observe. Observe the people around you. Observe the 1.25 billion Indians that you have around you, because each of them is your potential market. So look out, be a keen observer, and spot the opportunity. The second, as Anshu said, is follow your passion. Because if you don't believe something from your heart, you will never do it well. Whatever it is that you believe, and bring your creativity to it, you can be an entrepreneur. And I do want to say that entrepreneurship doesn't necessarily mean having a big and successful business like Mr. Dandekar of 2,200 crores, or Mr. Shah, or being the next Steve Jobs, or setting up the next Uber. You can be a micro-entrepreneur. You can be a one-person entrepreneur. What you do can make someone else's life better, happier, give them a product or a service that they need. And you're an entrepreneur. But do what you love. If it's painting that inspires you, find something in that field. If it's music that inspires you, find something in that field. If it's cooking that inspires you, find something in that field. Follow your passion, because that is what will keep it alive. The third is what Mr. Shah said, is that the customer is really your best teacher. We say the customer is king, but I think his words are really far, far nicer. The customer is your guru. If you listen to your customer, you can't go wrong. You're welcome to clap or not, but I think that really is the most important thing. The fourth mantra I would say is build a team. If you're going to do it as a single person entrepreneur, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to grow your business, if you want to have a wider market and a wider market share, you will need to build a team. There's no better place to start than now. Now is the time when you will look amongst your group of friends and find people you like to work with. You should also find people who have skills which are slightly different from yours. Because you will be really good at something, your best friend will be really good at something else, the guy in the corner may be really good at something else. Look around and build a team of people who complement your strengths and make up for your weaknesses. And that person is someone you should be willing to and be happy to work with for a few years, ideally for the rest of your life, but at least for a few years. Because the small things, if you're ill, that person can step in for you. If you can't do something well, they will do it. And so teamwork is really critical. The fifth mantra, and I think all the speakers have said this, is don't be afraid to start small, but start. You know, ideas are cheap, implementation is hard. Now, as a student in a college, is the best time and place for you to start. Do these things, spot the opportunity, find something that you're passionate about, listen to what the customer is saying, build a team, and start. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's really worthwhile to taking that step. The fifth thing, I think that was the fifth. The sixth is, don't be afraid of failure. Because failure is not final. As you may know, many of you may know, I have failed several times. I stepped down from my job and stood for elections in South Mumbai as a Lok Sabha candidate. The first time as an independent, I failed. But I really enjoyed that experience. I learned a lot. And I said, well, actually, I like this so much, I'm going to do it again. The second I stepped down from my job, I left my job, I joined the Aam Aadmi Party, and I stood again from the same constituency. I lost again, but once again I found that I had really learned a great deal, I had a great team of people, and I found I could make a difference. I will do it again, in fact I will stand till I die. I don't know whether I will succeed, but I have enjoyed every minute of it. And as Mr. Shah said, sometimes from your greatest failures can come your greatest successes. So don't be afraid of failing, because failure is not final. The next, I would say, is do your homework properly. I think we misunderstand how the small details make a difference. So all of you who are sitting here, how many of you are BMS students or accountancy students? Please raise your hands. Excellent. I really advise you to pay attention to your accountancy classes. Learn how to do your books of accounts. Learn how to write up a trial balance. Learn how to make a profit and balance sheet. It's really, really important. You have good software. I don't know whether any of you are being exposed to basic software like Tally or Quicken, but if not, please do so. I think Rakhi and Hasina, these are courses you should introduce. This is basic accounting software. Please learn to use it. It will save you hours and hours of effort. And associated with that, please learn to pay your taxes. I assume all of you are over 18. How many of you have filed a tax return? Please raise your hand. Excellent. It's actually very simple. You can do it online. Please start filing your tax returns even if you are not paying tax, because that's a good discipline. And by the way, it will save you lots and lots of grief later, because like it or not, we are going to be exposed to, a lot of tax investigation. Some people call it tax terrorism, but let's just say you should be tax compliant. The next mantra, I think, is really plan properly. Mr. Dandekar has mentioned that, Mr. Shah has mentioned that. I cannot overemphasize the importance of planning. Not only planning, but planning for failure. One of the very, very good steps you can take, and something which I learned served me very well, is you've got this great idea, you've got this great plan, you've got this great steps which are coming ahead. Before you launch off into spending money, into doing things, sit down and say, I'm going to do a pre-mortem. You all know what a post-mortem is, right? So you've done something, it's gone horribly wrong, you then sit down and say what happened. Instead of that, sit down and do a pre-mortem. Imagine that you're 1 year in the future, and imagine that your business idea has failed and everything around you is lying in shambles. And have that discussion today. Say, what is it that went wrong? Because then you start thinking about what could go wrong, and you have a plan for that. And if you do that, you then have your plan A, which was your regular plan, but you also have a plan B and a plan C. Mr. Dandekar rightly said, he has planned it so that his staff would get their payments on time, online, 10 years ago. I want to ask you, how many of you have waited for cash at an ATM in these last few days? Only 2 people. The rest of you don't need money. How have you managed? So you managed online with Paytm, etc., right? But the rest of this country has stood in queues. And there has been enormous distress and enormous hardship. Of course, we can say that they should have all planned on having, RuPay cards and having all been online. I think that is completely impractical and not possible. But my question is, the people who planned the demonetization move, do you think that they sat down and they did this planning? Do you think that they planned when they removed 86% of India's currency from circulation? Did they plan on how they were going to remonetize it, how the banks were going to disperse it, how the ATMs were going to work? And so the real question is, think through the issues of implementation. Because every idea is a good idea. Every intention is a good intention. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And you as a young entrepreneur don't want to go to hell. So do your planning carefully, think it through, think through the scenarios, and have a plan A, which is your basic plan, have a plan B, which is your backup plan, have a plan C, which is the final failure plan, and see whether that works for you. The 9th mantra is what Anshu talked about, what Mr. Dandekar talked about, what Mr. Shah talked about. There should be, in addition to what you do, some meaning. You're doing it because you love it, you're doing it because you want to make money. These are all great objectives. But this country needs more. This planet needs more. We all need more. Think of how your business can have a social impact, because really, as Mahatma Gandhi pointed out, as a business person, you are a custodian for the good of society. Have that in mind. Can you reduce your footprint, your ecological footprint, your environment footprint? Can you give someone a job? Can you make something? Can you help in any way society, someone else? Give your business a meaning. And as Mr. Dandekar said, go with good values, because those will sustain. Whether your business then succeeds or not, you would have, for every day that you were in existence, made a difference, a positive difference to someone else. And that will give you the courage and energy to go on when you go through the ups and downs. And last, and this is the 10th mantra, is have fun. Because without that, it's really not worth it. We only have one life, at least in this life we only have one. And it's a very short life. And so make sure that whatever you're doing, you enjoy it. Because otherwise it's not worth it. With that, let me thank you all. Let me wish you a very good day. I think you've got an excellent lineup of speakers. Enjoy the day, and I hope all of you succeed in your entrepreneurial lives. Thank you.
Sure. Yes. Please give it a huge round of applause. Thank you so much.